Hey, it's me, Diana. Paint and Create every Thursday night. I am here. Art by Diana Myers. It's my page. And tonight we're going to do some birch trees. I did one with watercolor and one with acrylic paint. Here's one, acrylic paint. Did this a couple years ago. And then I decided to do some greeting card or maybe, or even like a bookmark. So here is the acrylic one, and I'm gonna show, it looks really complicated. It wouldn't be about easy. I did it with tape. And here is the watercolor one. Basically, you could even do like a summer one, just put all green on the bottom and blue on the top, and you got a spring one. Maybe a little couple foliage leaves or something. But we're gonna keep it simple. Let me get you guys up here. I paint because I love to paint. And I've been painting a long time. I started as an oil artist and painting with a twist, and I've had all kinds of stuff I've done. But now I teach online, and I am loving it. I'm also on Facebook now, or not Facebook, YouTube. I do have a group, free group, every Saturday. I'll be doing a little reading. We'll be doing some more fall stuff Saturday. I'm not sure because I have a bunch of stuff that I found from last year. I might do some stencils. I have a witch hat and I think a witch shoe. There's stencils from, I'm an ambassador for Essential Stencils. Or I found some wood cutouts from last year, but they still sell at the Dollar Tree. They're those wood cutouts. Or we might just do some more painting. So I'm not sure, maybe a little bit of everything, you know. So that's Saturday. We tend to do a lot of different things. I tend to teach people that kind of struggle with painting or have become more skilled, inspired, and confident on their artistic journey. I mean, that's my spiel. So I tend to help people that are just getting back into it, or, you know, some people a little farther along, because I do have an advanced group, and I'll be adding more stuff to that. I'm going to add an area on how to sell your work too, and things you can do. So that's going to be something new in the group. I'm moving it around because Facebook has changed a lot of things, and I have to put most of my videos over to YouTube now because they went to store them somewhere else, as long as it's not with them, which I get. Anyway, so I digress, and you don't want us to me talk all night, so I'm going to turn this around. We're going to get started. Like I said, I'm going to put my link up here in a minute. So this is just like a little 5x7 little canvas, and here is one I did earlier with watercolor. I imagine you could probably even do these. You could do squash, you could do just some colored pens, and I did a fall look with the orange and yellow, but like I said, you could do a green on the bottom and blue on top. So I'll show you what I did. Now I took a whole canvas I didn't like the painting I had underneath it, so I repainted it white. And then I'm taking regular old, what they call it, cell phone supplement. And but like I said, you could use paper. I got this is watercolor paper over here. This is just a flat panel from like the Dollar Tree. So I'm just taking, for my thick one, I'm going to take this one here. Doesn't go all the way up, but we can finish that. And then I usually do 4 to 5 pieces. Now I have several sizes of tape. I use it for all kinds of stuff over here. So here's another size. And I'm going to kind of, where did I put that? Put this one straight, right, a little angle. Trees aren't always straight. But you could, if you've got masking tape and you think it's too big, you could cut it in half. Pretty simple. What I do is I flex the end like this, and then I put it like on wherever, and I take a pair of scissors, where are my scissors, and I cut it down. I got other tape around here, and I'm just gonna, I do this with the cellophane tape, but believe me, it doesn't come out as good. Well, for one thing, it's hard to see. And I just kind of cut along. You could probably use an X-Acto knife. It helps if you've got different sizes. I did do a 2-way tape that was okay, but not as good. And you can kind of rip it, just rip it. Now you're going to see that doesn't, you want straight lines, but you're not going to be all just like all happy about it because, or worried about it, because I'm going to show you what happens. I'm going to paint those little edges in with a card. A credit card works, I actually use one of my business cards. You make those like black edges on this, and that kind of straightens them out. Anything you don't like, you can touch up with paint, which I'll show you. So now you get different sizes. Now I like to cross one over, so let's just go back with that cellophane tape. The cellophane tape sizes. I find the cheaper the tape, the smaller the size. This is pretty big, but this is like in one of those, it's Scotch Guard in the fancy, I wanted tape that lasts. I use it all the time. It's in a fancy container I'm about to go with it. So this is a little thicker, but as a rule, I think a lot of them are not quite this wide. So I was going to show you, but I didn't bring it in here. So just do different sizes, and you want to leave room in between so that you can see. I did 1, 2, 3, 4 pieces. Like I said, you can cut them down. Now I wouldn't. You could fold this over if you feel safer, but when you go to pull this up, it makes it hard. So like leave them hanging over a little bit. I kept extra pieces here so I can use them on the other one. The watercolor doesn't like get as messed up as the acrylic one. This is a watercolor that I colored with, and that can actually be reused again. But the thing with the watercolor is you can't get too crazy because it could soup underneath. But if it's good tape, it shouldn't do that. All right. So now, all I did, now you can use a stippling brush, you can use any kind of brush you want, and I just did, or you can use a sponge, but I just did a good old-fashioned paper towel. Actually, a wet wipe would work too, and I'm just going to wet this a little bit, just a tad, just because I don't want it to take so much, but if you want like a lot of color, then you're going to want to like just use it, you know, the way it's supposed to be, just dry. So I am going to start at the bottom. It's right next to me. I'm using the acrylic paint first, and I'm going to do the green and mix it with a little yellow. This is a kind of a fall look, but like I said, if you want it to be more summertime, you could do blue on top, a little white if you want, some green on the bottom. Pull it off, you could even add some flowers or some foliage on the bottom. That's pretty too. So I kind of got it kind of mixed on here, and I'm going to go through and do the bottom. Just dab my paint as light or as dark as you want. A little lighter. So I really want to just, I have 4 on here, but like I said, never more than 4 or 5. I tend to use 4, depending on the size. Now if you're doing a great big canvas, you're going to want more than that. A little darker. I think I need a little darker. If you want a little darker, you could add a blue. I got green and yellow I'm using for this. And here it's yellow and orange, and then like a blue right in here, a little white for the sky. It's kind of indication of a sky. It's not really though. I just smush it on. Now I did this on smaller ones for like bookmarks, but I think I'm also going to try it on a ATC card. You guys know what that is? We trade cards, Artist Trading Group, or cards. I actually think it would be too hard, it'd be too small. I mean, it can be done, but I have where I could do a whole grid of them on one piece of paper. I got it all marked up. It's a template. It's right here. And I'm thinking what I'm going to try to do, it's going to be a little bit of an experiment. I made templates for the cards. If anybody's ever done them, they're baseball cards, basically. And you design over them. I'm going to try to do the trees, or maybe this way. Tape it all up and do all of them that way. I don't think I'm going to do it on this paper though. Probably some multimedia. This paper that I'm using for the other one, this one here, that is multimedia, but it's really heavy paper. I would suggest watercolor actually. It'd be a little heavier. If you're going to use watercolors, probably a good thing. And when you're doing these canvas ones, you can't really use watercolor because you have to use a thing called ground. It's almost like a gesso. It makes it easier for the paint to go on, but I find you don't get as much penetration as you know, or coverage as you do with this stuff. You know, with acrylic paint. This stuff. All right, so there we got that. Now I'm gonna go up here and see who's on. I'm on my iPad, It's always an adventure when Diana tries to get everything where it's supposed to be. Hey, I'm glad I can do this. You know, I'm kind of old school. I had to learn everything from scratch 6 years ago, online stuff, and then I've been painting forever. And then I got the sound up. Oh, I got the comment section, guys. This is here. Hello, hello. Sometimes when I punch in a few things happen. Get different people here than I do up here, which is fascinating. I have this theory. Hey, girl. All right, I'll be right back to it. So yeah, I'll be on Saturday at 4 o'clock. If anybody wants to watch me, you gotta go up. You gotta go to the group. Hold on. Let me put the group up for you. Let's see. Link. Here's the group. Did I do it? Is it up there? I think it is. So if you follow that link, it'll take you over and you can watch stuff Saturday. Tomorrow night, in my paid group, my membership, kind of my advanced people, I am going to do a really pretty painting. We do with templates most of the time, but this one there's no template. It's going to be like learning how to layer your painting to make things look closer and farther away. So that'll be fun. That's tomorrow night. I talked to them this morning about it. I might make a little template to make it easier for some, but really I think you don't need it. Alright, so I got the bottom part done. So now I got an awful green sponge here, but I could kind of mix it up and go into the yellow and orange now. It's just a basic orange and yellow, nothing fancy. Half orange, half yellow. I got both of them on here. And just kind of lightly dab. I'm going to blend in the green here and there. I like foliage at all greens. I mean, even some of the yellow and orange foliage would have some green in it. So if it mixes in, that's actually makes it look more real. Realer? Is that a word? Realer? I don't know. I'm going to do a little reading, I know that. I said I went through and been doing this room such a wreck. I cleaned it and it's worse. I got stuff pulled out. Got a lot of holiday stuff out. Not just here, but in my other rooms. So, got a box of stuff going to Road Salvation Army here, from here, and another one out in the front room. So, I got some stuff accomplished. Putting my garden away. Now we do a little green up in here for like there's trees up in here. Just kind of dab on straight green. See how like I got the light in the middle here, kind of. You gotta kind of just, I need some blue. I want a little sky to show up on the top here, so I'm gonna use straight blue. It's a little too blue, so I'm gonna add some white just to kind of lighten that blue up. Depends on the blue you're using. This one happens to be pretty bright. I think this is, I use all Deco Heart paint, so this one's pretty bright. I think it's called True Blue. And I'm just like dabbing. Foliage has like all this texture. I mean, you could do them smoother. In fact, with the watercolor, I had a little bit of problem. I ended up using a watercolor mop brush, but you want that kind of like this one. See, it was a little more soupier, so I let it dry a little bit, then I went back and dabbed it again. But you could also mess around with watercolor pens or pencils and stuff to kind of, you know, if you ever seen people do that, they kind of adjust everything. Now I'm going to take some of that green and kind of work it into this blue a little bit. So the sky is kind of peeking through these trees. Don't overthink it. This is not a complicated painting. Don't overthink it. In fact, if it's not overthunk, it's probably going to be a lot better. So, yeah. Like I said, you can adjust afterwards, and I'll show you how you do all that. So now you got all this color, get a little sky up here, a little white in that sky a little bit. Just kind of whiten it up a little bit. More blue, a little blue, more blue. There we go. Put some blue down in this green too. Might darken this bottom a little bit more. A little darker. That'll make the trees kind of sit down, just a little darker on the bottom. It'll look like they're floating. All right, so now, while it's wet, you can do it when it's dry, but I find when I do it when it's wet, like I said, I don't worry about those edges because you're gonna see what happens when I put, say I took some of the paint up, that doesn't even matter because I put 2 or 3 coats of paint on this old painting that was on here, but that doesn't matter either. It's gonna make it look really cool. Oh, where we go? Right here. This one I started a little bit lower. Started this one a little bit lower, but we're gonna adjust that too, and I'll show you what to do. If you went all the way up, I'll show you what to do. They look pretty cool already, right? Move this over. Any kind of card. I actually used one of my business cards. I couldn't find my other card. They have a lot of these. Any kind of card. You could use your healthcare card. You could use an old credit card. Whatever you got. Now I'm going to fix those in by putting in just a little bit of white. Actually, I'm going to get I have a detail one here I was using for everything. It's a little tiny detail brush you're going to need for little fixes. Just some white. That's where the paint took that I painted on here, took it off. Because I covered an old painting. And then I'm just going to fill this all the way up, so now we got the tree filled in. You don't want these real perfect. So if you got tape like that one that wasn't real even on the edges, doesn't matter. You're going to see why in a minute. Now you're going to go into your black. Good old-fashioned black. You want to kind of be careful. You don't want to overdo the edges, so you're going to come in and you're just going to lightly hit these sides. Just lightly. Need more on this side. Just kind of want to, and you want to you shove them over a little bit, and you'll get like a, how they have that bark. And if it's off a little bit, if you remember, the bark falls off those trees. It falls off. So you could make some adjustments with this. If you don't want some green to show, you could put some white paint or a Posca pen. We're going to add limbs to this. Take the tip like this, take the wet paint and kind of make some little indications of they have that peeling bark. Same thing, I'm just kind of lightly going over it, both sides, and then kind of drag a little bit in, like that. Less is more when it comes to this. Okay, so now you got pretty good birch trees. Now I don't like this right here, so I can come up with some yellow and orange, and I can kind of fix it up a little bit. So I think I'll put some white right there because I'm going to let that dry. A little white on this, a little too much black, and I can just make some little white indications for the size of the tree if I want to. You can do a little adjusting. Now I'm going to go into the black again. Kind of a little water in it. Make it a little inky. Make a little pile to the side. Make it a little inky. And like add a little water and roll your brush. If you've got a decent round brush, this is a small, real small one. It should come to a little bit of a point. And I'm just going to come in and just start making little branches. Just come off the side, pull up, and then give it a wiggle. I'm going to put a highlight on them in a minute. Drag them. Need more water on that. Needs to be more watery. Like I said, you can do the same thing with a Posca pen, or even like any kind of black pen, really. Well, something that's like a magic marker type thing. Acrylic would be preferable. Now I'm going to put a little bit of white on these. kind of dab it on a little bit. This one's a little too. So I think I need to clean my brush. Hold on. Got too much paint on it. Alright. There we go. It's a little better. See, so you can kind of play around with the brush strokes. Add some white. You could even add some small ones, just kind of have them come off. So now you get yourself some pretty decent trees here. Like I said, if you want to, you don't like black somewhere, just put a little white on it and drag through. If you want some more black somewhere, you can add a little bit of, you can play a little bit. If you decide you want some foliage on the ground, you could come in with some green and just do some little like strokes of paint like this. You could have little foliage, little green foliage. You could add yellow foliage. You could have, you know, it's supposed to be fall. You do some in yellow. Do some dark green and blue. And you could even add some flowers if you wanted to. Little flowers. You can get pretty creative with the bottom. So as I said, this would make a good spring look if you wanted to just do blue on the top. Such a simple and easy painting. Minimal stuff to use. Hey Joe, hey Lori. Minimal things to use. No worries about having perfect sides, perfect backgrounds. Easy peasy pudding and pie. There you go. A little bit wonky is a little bit good. Alright. So now we're going to do one on the small piece of paper. I don't think I'm going to do the watercolor, but I am going to do that again, just on a small piece. Now this is multimedia, but it's a heavy multimedia. For it. They do come, some people think they're all thin. There's some that are really thin. I learned it as I went. It's kind of like watercolor paper. You can buy a heavier one, but watercolor paper would look just as good. I got so much junk. I've been cleaning. You know what happens when you clean? Can't find a damn thing. But anyways, we're going to do this next. It's basically the same thing. And you can play with the backgrounds. Like I said, you could do it spring. You could do the whole thing in blue. Do the trees, and then do the foliage, and then maybe some pink flowers or something. I mean, you could have a lot of fun with this. I'm going to still do the fall. These are going to end up going to my people more likely. So, same thing. You're going to do your tape. It's, you know, masking tape. I got it from Amazon. It comes in packs of 3 different sizes. Let me tilt this one this way. I always like one tilted. I just think it looks more real. I don't know if more real is a word, but it seems to be my word tonight. So I'm going to pull out a big piece again. I threw those other ones away. And I'm going to show you how you can, I tried doing it with the cellophane, and it does happen, but it rips on the side. This is pretty easy to cut. Just go like that, and you have an anchor. Get yourself a pair of scissors or an X-Acto knife. This is glass. If you have a glass tabletop or something you can use, I don't have an X-Acto knife here, so you could use something like that. It would be better than what I'm doing. It doesn't want to stay down now. Make a layer out of me. So I got this rough edge, but it's okay. Like I said, it has to be somewhat even, but it doesn't got to be totally even. So I'm just going to take this rough one and go like this, and I can cut that. See, I'm not too fussy about it. You don't have to be. You just got to get some whited out so it looks kind of like a tree. I'm going to leave this out. So there's 2. Ooh, there's 2. All right, and now you can use cellophane tape. Maybe we'll do this one like it's going off the canvas and it won't be so big. Let's tilt it and go this way. take another small one. Actually, I got this one. This other side's kind of wonky. I kind of like that, so I'm gonna maybe put this one up here. I can adjust with my brushes, remember. So I think maybe this way would look good. There we go. So now I got 4 pieces on here. And I'm going to use much. If you are a stenciler like me, you can use a stenciling brush or a stippling brush. You could use a big, like this is like a big kind of like, it is technically a round brush, really big, but see how this is so old, it's sprayed out. An old mop brush, something where you can like really like spread out some paint. But like an artist sponge, those brown ones would be good. This is good too. If you use it dry, you get more color. If you use it a little bit wet, you get less color, and I like that better, so that's what I'm doing to do. Kind of spreads the paint a little bit. Or you can also use a wet wipe. Not too wet, but wet wipe is good too. We're going to dab mostly. Same thing, we're going to go over it again. I got just this basic, it's actually called Kelly green. It's like kind of more of a plant green. I have a couple other ones that are very bright, but you got to mess with the greens. But this sometimes just a plain Kelly green. It's a really good foliage color. This color right here, can you see it? Like that. It's a great foliage color. It's kind of muted. It's not real bright. Sometimes greens are tough when you're mixing, if you're looking for the right shade. I use this one a lot. Mermaid Tail, which is kind of a tealy green, and Mystic Teal, and where's the other one? There's another one I use. Jewel Green, but this Jewel Green is really too bright, but it gives a really nice daytime kind of green, so I use it a lot. But you have to mix it, you can't use it straight. But this Kelly green, which I think this one is the one you buy at Wegmans, or Walmart's, Apple Barrel. When I first started using it, I kept calling it Cracker Barrel. It's Cracker Barrel. No, it's not, Diana. It's Cracker Barrel. You see, today was my anniversary. Would have been 49 years. I was okay. I made one of his favorite things, which is a pain in the butt the way I make it. It's like a layered lasagna, but it's Spanish rice. He loved it. I'd layer it with lots of heartbreaking cheese, you know, the Velveeta crap, which I don't like, but it is pretty good. So I ate a half a pan. I'd eat it and cry, eat it and cry, eat it and cry, and then I was good. The rest is in the freezer. It was like last week. It just dawned on me it was 49 years, you know. We made it. No, I'll take the bait. We did our 40th anniversary, and I worked in a salon. This is like a real story, guys. And I do a lot of old. My women got old. They weren't all old. They got old. We all get old. See, I did the green and yellow. And they said, Diana, do it now, because a lot of them, their husbands never made it to 50 years. So he died year 45, so it's 4 years ago. So I made it kind of dark right there. We want it kind of darker on the bottom. I mean, it ain't got to be totally dark, but that kind of anchors everything. When you're doing any kind of, especially like anything that might float like a flower or a tree, you want to make sure the bottom is dark. And so, on something this small. So now I got yellow, little orange. So my daughter comes in. You know, if you guys, anybody knows who Wegmans is wonderful. And they beautiful flowers. I mean, like orange colored tulips. It just as oranges. They're so beautiful. And then just beautiful flowers. Knows everything I like. She got me my sushi. And I just got done frying up some, you know, stuff from the garden. Not okra. What do they call that? Zucchini and corn. I love it together. Now I'm doing yellow and green. Trying to make sure I get the other side. Don't get too crazy with the too much paint, because remember, it could. This is pretty tight on there, but it could get underneath it. Now I want some green on the sides. Hey Jerry, I seen you pop on here. Hey Joellen. And aren't these cute? I did these last year, but you know, you guys had your, hey Tammy, I think I said hi already. that some people have not seen this stuff, you know. So if anybody's out there and they're watching, come on, chime in, let us know that you're here. It's good for my algorithm. You can just hang out, we won't bug you. But yeah, it's good for my algorithm if you kind of chime in for a minute. Just say hey, let us know where you're from, or just say hey. It's good for my business. Helps us out. Alright, so there you go. So now I'm going to put some blue and white on the top. So yes, well, I told you I went through all my Halloween stuff, which I had the box right here. It ain't here. I don't know. We got to move the air conditioner out of here today. So went through some of my winter clothes. Oh, that's a little light, but I kind of like that. Winter clothes. And I had to order some stuff. I have lost some weight, but not a significant amount that I can like fit into some of my clothes. That's not going to happen for a while yet. I got to lose like a lot more, guys. A lot more. Lighten this center up right here a little bit. Then I feel like I need a little more yellow over in here. Let's make it a little more yellow. A little more orange. Just kind of brighten that up. Alright. So there you go. I did it again. So this is a smaller card. Now this will probably end up being like I'd say maybe a, use it for a, oops, let's get one over the top of it. For like a bookmark. So see how that's wonky right there? We can fix that. The edges should be straight, but they ain't got to be perfect. Just as straight as you can get it. It's whatever tape you got, that makes a difference. And you can do them all up and down, but you'll find it looks better if at least one of them, oops, is tipped. Now see how I got under the paint, under the tape? So I got this edge that pulled up some of the paper. That's okay. That's okay. We're going to adjust that with our little trick with our paint strainer, with our little card here. And I'm going to come in here and just kind of do that, and that makes it look like it's part of the tree. All the way down. Very lightly. Be careful. I mean, like I said, if you overdo it, you can go back with white. If you underdo it, you can go back with black. So you can hit, if you get nervous, you can touch it up with the brush too. It comes out a little better if you can do this first and then come back with the brush. See this little wonky piece? I'm going to straighten it out. You can use the tip. This is getting wet. It would be better if I had a credit card, but I don't have one here. And I'm going to kind of just leave this here like this. And there's a tree behind it. Be brave. You gotta be brave sometimes, you know. It's hard being brave. I know, I was a shy girl. I didn't talk to anybody, I think the first, except for family. When I left the house, I didn't talk to anybody. I know there's some kind of thing. My daughter took psychology and all that. She's a social worker. Probably from being a big family, you know. I just wasn't, I was very shy. And I don't know what happened. My mother said the same thing happened to her. Then I think you get older and you find out people are all the same. Hairdressing opened me up a lot. I learned a lot about people. That's a little mess right there. We'll show you what we're going to do. So when I started doing hair and seeing people every day, oh God, they couldn't get me to talk to anybody. After a while, though, I did. A lot of my clients were like me, a little quiet, so that was good. Later, they weren't. Once I learned to do hair. But yeah, I learned some very valuable lessons doing hair. Like, people are basically all the same. You say, no, it's not true. Well, people like to be individual, and some people are very individuals. They have to do their own thing. But most of all the feelings and the thoughts that we have and the pain that we feel, everybody gets it sooner or later, you know. That's how you handle it. Mine is the painting. It really helps a lot. Believe it or not, it really does help. I didn't realize what it was, and that I might have, like, I didn't have ADHD back then. My daughter, oldest one's 50, or she will be, was diagnosed. My youngest one has learning disabilities. My middle one is OCD, So we all, of course, they didn't have names for all that. They just threw you in the slow class. My father had a lot of problems in school. I didn't. I was all right. But, yeah. But I see now that sometimes being like that's a good thing, you know. I didn't want to be in with what everybody else was doing. I was kind of a square peg. So that's a good thing. Yeah, artistic types, you know. See, so how I just kind of fixed it where I wanted to fix it? And then I could take this yellow and I can kind of come in here and dab in some of that color right there and fix it a little bit. So you ain't got to get too complicated. Just adjust. I'm doing it wet on wet, but you could dry this before you go on to the next section. Don't get too crazy with it. And then I can come in, I can water down that black, or you could use, that one here. You could use some, I just bought Posca pens. I think they're on the other side of the room. I told you I'm cleaning that cabinet out right there. But you could use a Sharpie. Come in here and just do some little doohickeys. Little, what Bob used to, doers. He used to call them doers. Just put some little doers in there. Remember they used to come as a riot. You know, if you ever watched, you know, what happened to him and stuff, he was a player. He had girlfriends. He was something. I'm telling you. He was. You got a white one, you could use that. We got a white one right here. I just bought some new ones. Oh, see, this one's leaking. This one's got leaking problems. You can kind of fix them up. Yep. But they messed with him. They messed his life up. The people that bought all his work, his son, still suing him. It's been 20 years. They took all the work and didn't give him none. And they wouldn't let him release anything. But I think he didn't care. He was just happy to do his work. But I also think, from what they're saying, that he was having an affair. I mean, it's all speculation, but yeah, there's something to all that. I mean, why can't you get none of his paintings? They're the only ones that have them. Isn't that something? So a lot of people don't think he's like a real artist, but he spent a lot of time. He said he would lay in bed at night and just think how he was going to do that painting and get it done like in a half an hour, you know. It just was, he did it. He thought about it, so he figured it out. If you watch any of his shows, you can watch him. He is like just looking over. You can see he's looking over at something. I do the same thing when I'm copying a painting. You'll see me looking around. Well, that's what he was doing. He already had it set up. He did 3. He did 1 he donated. 1 was for the class, something like that. I'm not sure where they all went. So now we got another nice little painting that I can give to somebody. I'm not kind of wait to sign it like that either. So you can just do some adjusting. Keep it simple, like I said. Remember, you're in a forest. Nothing's going to be perfect. I think this needs some little lines on it right here. They're like, they peel. You know what I mean? They like peel. Yeah, I always like to know. But he learned from a German guy who taught him how to paint. He was the one that actually invented the wet on wet technique. It wasn't actually, it became popular because of him. But it's such an easy, and I like to paint fast, so I fell in love with the way he painted. I never miss, my husband knew I would come home on a Saturday after a hard day doing hair, and let me tell you, Saturdays, and I was suffering when I got home Friday and Saturdays. And he would have the couch ready, the TV turned to the station, and my supper on the ottoman. And I would just lay there and snooze and watch his show. And there was a couple other, there was like, there was 2, there was an Irish guy with watercolors. And then there was Kiwi's workshop. She did a lot of artistic painting too. And that's what I did every Saturday when he was on in the fall. Isn't that pretty? So now I got a whole bunch. This one I'm keeping. But these are probably going to end up being in some Happy Meal or something. So, pretty simple to do, huh? I mean, I know I make it look easy, but I think this is a pretty easy technique. You could do, like with the watercolor, you could use, there's a whiteout like stuff that you could use to do that, and you could peel it all up, but that's a pain. Oh, I hate doing that stuff. You could just pencil it and try to paint around it, but I find this is just the easiest way to do it. So, and you could, like I said, you could do this on a big piece of canvas. You could like double the tape with 2 pieces, and you could do it on a big canvas. It can be done. Or you could, what I did on one a while ago was I did all the colors, and I just took a big palette knife, and I just, like I did with the black, all the way down. Or a card. You do it with a card too, not just black, you do the white too. Anyway, so that's it for tonight. And I will see you guys tomorrow afternoon. We're gonna do our cone flowers. I think we're gonna do a size 12 by 14, so it's gonna be bigger than this. And then Saturday I'm gonna do a little reading, and we're definitely gonna do something else Halloweeny, because I think we're gonna do either the witch's hat or the shoe. Did you guys see those? The one door hanger, I think we're gonna wait a little closer to Halloween. It says something about, it's got like a graveyard on it, and it's gonna be a door hanger. It's Essential Stencils, and the witch's hat and the shoe is so cute. I just bought myself a shoe to go with my witches from the Dollar Tree. It's so cute. So I got some purple lights to go behind it and a skull. You know, like real important things I need at the Dollar Tree. Anyways, I will see you guys, like I said, Saturday. We're going to do some more Halloween reading, and tomorrow night we're doing that. And anybody that's in the group, we got lots of, you need to come around, because there's a lot of other stuff going on, and you need to come around. So we got some changes coming, guys. So I will see you guys later, and I hope inspiration finds you wherever you go. And guys, make art, make lots and lots of art. And thank you for coming, and I will see you later. Bye.